Okay, welcome everybody to today's presentation on fraud prevention. Together we're going to discuss the top 7 scams that everyone should know, along with some other common frauds, and provide some prevention tips for everyone. At any time during our presentation tonight, you may have a question. Please submit your question using the thought bubble that's located in the top right of your screen. I'm sure many will have the same questions, so please do not be shy. I'd like to start off with an introduction of myself and my co-host. My name is Meredith Boakley, and I am the Risk Officer at Libro Credit Union. I have worked at Libro for 16 years in various roles at both the branch and administration office. As Libro's Risk Officer, my primary role is working in fraud and assisting staff and owners to prevent fraud from occurring. Molly Groves, who will be speaking later on this evening, is Libro's Operational Risk Manager and has also worked in various roles both in the branch and administration for the past 13 years. Molly's primary role is to oversee operational risk here at Libro and support in the areas of fraud. For those that are less familiar with Libro Credit Union, we want to share some information about Libro. At Libro, we are focused on growing prosperity in southwestern Ontario, investing 100% of our profits back into the people, businesses, and communities we serve. It means that we are purpose beyond profit, thinking differently about how we conduct our business and making decisions that have a positive impact on our owners, our communities, and our staff. Libro is proud to be a certified B Corporation since 2018, joining leaders of the global movement of people using business as a force for good. Certified B Corporations meet a higher standards of social and environmental performance, transparency, and accountability. Libro is proud to be a member of this community. As I mentioned previously, we will be discussing the top 7 scams that everyone should know, and we will also share the red flags to watch for of various frauds and scams and things that you can do to stay protected. Let's begin with discussing online banking fraud. So online banking fraud targets people of all ages. It has become more sophisticated in recent years and can come in many different forms. The most common is an online banking takeover. This includes hacking into your online account, your contact information may get changed, and the fraudster will begin to transfer money out of the account. This is achieved when your sign-in information is compromised, meaning someone knows your password to log in. This can be achieved by several different tactics. One is by watching you sign into your online banking using a technique called shoulder surfing. This may be a stranger in public or someone you may know. They will watch you log in to your online banking and see you enter your password and even answer enhanced security questions. The compromise could also be the result of malicious software being installed on your computer or your mobile device. When your password is used and it's not strong or unique enough, or by tricking you into providing your login information using a technique called phishing. Phishing is referred to when a fraudster attempts to get your usernames and passwords by posing as a trusted source. They may send you an email, a text, or even a social media message, and that will include a link or an attachment. Many of you have likely received a phishing email, such as Canada Post having a package available for you, but it's being held at customs, and you are asked to click on the link in order to get it out of the customs. Another known method is when a fraudster will call you and say that your computer has a virus. They will need you to connect to your computer, and they will ask you to access your account for payment for fixing your computer. Because they are remotely connected, when you log into your online banking, they are now able to see your logon information and banking information. This is commonly known as the Microsoft scam. I am sure many of you have received a call similar to this. I know I have. If you have unfortunately become a victim, it can be very scary. You think your money is gone and you don't know what to do. Your first step should always be to call your financial institution right away and report what has happened. So what happens if a fraudster gets access to your online banking? Once they log in, they may complete one or several types of transactions. E-transfers may be sent to themselves, being the fraudster, or it could be sent to another victim that's involved in a scam. Typically, when an e-transfer is fraudulently sent, it is a large dollar amount of the transfer. Western Union money transfers are completed similar to the e-transfer. The fraudster might send money to themselves or another victim involved in a scam. Again, it's typically large amounts of money being sent, where the biggest difference between the Western Union money transfer is that these can be sent internationally, where e-transfers are only sent and received within Canada. Bill payments are also a way that fraudsters will take money from your account, and they will make a bill payment to things like credit cards, prepaid credit cards, or phone bills. In recent years, fraudsters will no longer have to rely on accounts having funds in them to complete fraud on the account. They can also add money by depositing checks using a feature called remote deposit capture, or also referred to as mobile deposit. Following the deposit of funds, transfers are made out of the account. Later, the check is returned as fraudulent, often as counterfeit. So how do you protect yourself from online banking takeovers? The first thing you should do is that if you are concerned or you are a victim, call your financial institution. Let us know what you think may have happened. Your financial institution can block your online banking, they can reset passwords, or reset your PIN. Additionally, you can protect yourself by looking at your accounts daily, or as often as you possibly can. This is a good opportunity for you to review your history to see if something seems off or if you don't recall doing a transaction. Libro has account notifications that can be set up to assist you with active account monitoring. You will receive a text or an email notifying you of the activity. This option can be tailored for each person for the notifications that will suit you best. Some examples of account notifications available here at Libro are end-of-day balances, ATM transactions, and even wires. If you do not bank with Libro, we encourage you to speak with your financial institution and see if they have this feature that's available. Another way to protect yourself is to change your password frequently. You can change your password as much as you want. We recommend every 90 days. If you think someone has your password, definitely change it, but make sure you do it on a secured computer or device, one that you know does not contain malicious software. Make sure that you make a change to your password that is very different. Hackers will record your password and they share with others. Putting a 1 at the end does not make a big enough change and it can be easily hacked again. Consider using a phrase or even the spacebar in your password. The spacebar is often recognized as a special character for password setup. The use of two-step verification wherever possible or security questions will also enhance your protection. We highly recommend you add additional security features whenever they are available. Two-step verification works when a one-time only password code is sent to your text or email and it's required to be entered after your password. This code is triggered at the time of your account login here at Libro. Additionally, if there is an option to mark your computer as secured device, we recommend that you use this, but only on your secured personal computers. This will eliminate your need to answer enhanced security questions when you sign in. And therefore, if a fraudster is watching you sign into your account, they do not have these answers. When the fraudster goes to log into their computer, they will not have the answers to these security questions and therefore are locked out of your online banking. Lastly, you should only log into computers that you know. If you are away and logging into another computer to check your online banking, you do not know who was on the computer before you. They may have placed something on the computer to watch you log in. An example of this would be a hotel lobby computer or an internet cafe. We recommend you stay away from logging into online banking on these computers. Next, we're going to move on to discuss e-transfers and the more recent type of fraud of intercepted e-transfer. So let's talk about how an intercepted e-transfer happens. The first step is the fraudster is able to compromise your email or your phone. The fraudster will be able to access the email notification sent to you for an email money transfer. The next step is the fraudster will then access that notification and answer the security question and then deposit the funds into their own account. So how do you protect yourself from having an intercepted e-transfer? The first step is to ensure that your password that you are using is unique and not easily guessed by another individual. Your password should not include information that is found on social media. An example of this would be the question is, what high school did I go to? If I'm a member of my high school alumni on my Facebook page, a fraudster can easily find out the answer to that password. Answers to passwords should also never be communicated through the e-transfer message or sent to the recipient using the same method as the e-transfer is sent. So think of it as if I send an e-transfer to somebody by email, I should not email the answer to that security question. If the fraudster has compromised that email account, they will have both pieces in order to intercept that e-transfer. Auto deposit is also a great tool to prevent intercepted e-transfers, since a password is no longer needed to have the funds deposited. The funds are deposited directly into your account, and therefore there is no notification for a fraudster to get a hold of. Next, we're going to move on to identity theft. Identity theft is one of the hardest frauds to recover from when you are a victim. Incidents of identity theft have been increasing. It can be very difficult for the victim. When it happens, they can steal all of your information. They may get a driver's license, birth certificate, have your social insurance number. They will act just like you. When identity is stolen, it can be used in various ways. They may get access to accounts and request transactions. They will do this by tricking your financial institution or other companies into thinking they are you to get information, money, or even reset passwords. This can result in a takeover of your online banking. They may even take over your phone by pretending to be you to your phone company provider. This is otherwise known as a SIM swap scam or called porting. They may also obtain credit cards or loans in your name. They could open up a new bank account or a cell phone account. They could sign legal documents. They may even commit a crime in your name. They will go for everything that they can. So how do you protect yourself from having your identity stolen? You will first need to watch your information and do not give it to anyone. If you are asked for personal information, ask questions to understand why it is needed. Call back using a legitimate number to confirm the request before providing any information. If you lose your purse or wallet, report it right away to your financial institution. We can give you numbers to call, replace your cards, and we can put warnings on your account. Do not forget to contact your cell phone provider too to ensure no one takes over your phone. Alerts can be added to your credit report, social insurance number, as well if it has been compromised. We would always recommend for everyone to avoid carrying their social insurance number or original birth certificate with you. These items should be kept in a secured location at home or in a safety deposit box. I'm now going to pass this over to Molly Groves to review some more scams that are currently affecting individuals in Canada and within our region.
Hi, everybody. So next we're going to talk about wire fraud. So wire requests are becoming more and more common for both businesses and individuals. Wire fraud can affect anyone, individuals or businesses. Wire fraud can also be involved when you are a victim of a scam. So we'll talk more about those scams later on. So wire fraud, it can come from a fraudster hacking your email and sending an email on behalf of you to your financial institution asking to send money. Or it could be a fraudster telling you to send someone money. When this happens, they usually tell you not to tell anyone about it. Or purchasing a supply that will never come. So a boat or machinery that will be shipped or for you to pick up. You wire the funds and the machinery never gets shipped to you. Or the fraudster may convince you to sell an item like a property or a timeshare. And before it can go through, you need to wire the money for additional closing costs or taxes. So how can you protect yourself from wire fraud? You should always know who you're sending the money to. If your gut is telling you something isn't right, it most likely isn't. If they have initiated the contact, ask questions like, how did you get my name? Why do you need this information? Why do I need to send you the funds first? Never give them your banking information. One thing Libro does to protect owners is to follow up with all wire requests via a phone call for confirmation. So we want to confirm that it is really you sending the request. We'll ask some questions to verify your identity to make sure, again, that it is you that has sent this request in. We may ask additional questions as well to understand why the funds are being sent. These questions are asked to ensure that you're not falling victim to a scam. If you send wires and bank with another financial institution, don't hesitate to ask how they offer protection. Before requesting a wire to be sent, ask yourself if it makes sense to send the money. Are they requesting funds to be sent to China for a purchase that's made in Canada? Are you sending money to cover taxes prior to receiving funds back? Is the recipient of the wire different than who has requested it? Is the wire going to an individual where you are working with when you're working with a business? And did you reach out to the individual or company to initiate the wire? And last, is it too good to be true? Next, we'll review card skimming. So card skimming refers to the electronic capture of data off of a debit or credit card's magnetic stripe. So that's the black stripe on the back of the card. This information is then copied onto another card and used to purchase goods, make withdrawals or purchases of other kinds of fraudulent or process other kinds of fraudulent transactions without the knowledge or consent of the cardholder. The fraudster gathers the card data by placing or inserting special equipment on ATMs or point-of-sale devices. It can look like a cover and can be very difficult to spot when it's on a device. We're going to bust a few common myths about card skimming. So card skimming only occurs to people traveling outside of Canada. This is incorrect. Card information can also be captured within Canada, and the information is then sold and used by fraudsters in other countries that are not fully chip enabled. My card was skimmed after I used the local gas station. It must have happened there. Card skimming happens at all different types of locations, and sometimes information is not used by fraudsters right away. It could be months or years later. So how to protect yourself from card skimming? The use of skimmed cards typically occurs outside of Canada. We have an advanced technology in Canada to help prevent mag stripes from becoming compromised. However, it does still sometimes happen. Canada is a chip-enabled country, which means all businesses are required to have chip-enabled terminals. So businesses within Canada should not be swiping your debit or credit card if chip and flash are available on the card. However, this is not the case for all countries. So for example, the United States. There are now more payment options than before. There's the mag stripe, your chip, flash, and mobile pay. It's important to understand how these different options work. It's also important to know that most cards have limits per day and on purchases. Every financial institution and every individual will have their own criteria. So recommendations for protection. Don't share your card or PINs with anyone, even trusted family members. Each account holder should have their own access card, including power of attorneys. Protect your PIN number. Use your body or hand to cover up when you're entering the PIN, and don't be afraid to ask for space from people. If you're unsure about the safety of the ATM or point of sale, don't use it. And if you already have, go to an ATM to change your PIN immediately. Repin your card regularly or when you feel your card may be at risk. Use Flash. So this is safer for you. No PIN is required and limits are in place. Set up alerts on your account. Meredith mentioned these earlier. Alerts are sent to your phone or email when certain transactions are performed. They can be set up per transaction, end of day balances, and many more. We're going to talk about a few common misconceptions about Flash technology. So Flash or tap technology is where you hold your card above the device to authorize that transaction. A common myth. Electronic pickpocket can steal card information when they walk by through my purse or my wallet. Security technology prevents electronic pickpocketing using a multi-step verification process during the data transfer. Standing too close to the machine, Flash transactions will occur through a purse or wallet. That's false. Flashcards must be 4 centimeters away from a terminal and positioned at a certain angle to complete the purchase. When a card is lost or stolen, accounts could be emptied quickly before the owner is aware. Also false. Low transaction limits are in place to protect owners from high volume or value transactions clearing their account. So when possible, use your Flash on your cards. Next, we're going to talk about some common scams. The first one is a check overpayment scam. If you receive payment for anything that is greater than what you have asked for, be suspicious. Often the check will be returned after funds are sent or items such as gift cards have been purchased and provided. So example of this scam. So you sell an item to somebody for $500. As payment, they give you a bank draft or official check, but they made it for the wrong amount. The check is for $1,500. The purchaser asks that you just send the difference back to them by email money transfer or give them the difference in cash. It's a bank draft, so it must be right, or it must be okay, right? You send the purchaser the $1,000, and a few days later, you're told that the bank draft has been returned fraudulent. Now you're out the $1,000 and the item in which you were selling. Another example, you found a great part-time job online as a mystery shopper. The company sends you a check and asks you to use some of the funds to do shopping and complete the review of your experiences. The check was for $5,000, but you're only supposed to receive $500. They explain the simple fix by requesting you to send back the difference by visiting a Western Union kiosk. You send them the funds and complete your shopping reviews. You later are notified that the check has been returned fraudulent and the Western Union has already been picked up. Now you're out the $5,000. How to protect yourself from check overpayment scams. So don't accept payment for more than the agreed upon price. Also, never send funds back to someone that is making a purchase from you. When in doubt, ask your financial institution. They will be familiar with common scams and can offer advice. The next common scam is romance scams. So romance scams typically start online, commonly on dating sites, but can also begin using other types of sites such as support groups for widows and widowers. Fraudsters will work to develop a relationship or close friendship with the victim. Relationship can range from a few weeks to a few years. At some point in the relationship, there's a request for money. The request can be for various reasons. After this, the requests will keep coming. The fraudster will push the need for the victim to send funds, even ask the victim to use their line of credit, retirement funds, or to apply for loans. Fraudsters will always have an explanation and often instruct victims to not speak to their financial institution or tell them why the funds are being sent. So a common story that is used is that your new friend that you've met is overseas. They're in the military. You talk to them for a few months and then find out that they have been injured. Unfortunately, your friend does not have the funds to get home to recover. The military won't cover the cost of the trip. It would be so much better for them to be back in the country getting medical treatment with the support of their families and you. Your friend asks for you to send the money to help them get home right away. Another common scenario is a request to send money to a friend because they've had their wallet and travel documents stolen and they need money to get home. The embassy may be helping to get their passport, but they have to pay for this too, as well as the travel costs. So how can you protect yourself from a romance scam? So you should never send funds to someone you have not met in person. Do not share your financial information or online banking login. No one should be accessing your account, even if they state they're depositing funds into the account for you. Do your research. Make sure that the site you are using is legitimate and check for costs and how to cancel. Be suspicious of anyone who develops feelings quickly and do not hesitate to ask them additional questions. Talk to your financial institution. What do they think? Again, the staff is there to help and protect you. The next is the Canada Revenue Agency scam. So Canada Revenue Agency will never call and ask you to send them money. They very rarely call anyone. They will send a letter and advise you to come into their office. They will not come to your home, nor will they arrest you. So how do you protect yourself from CRA scams? Do not send them the money. CRA does not accept payments via email money transfers, wires, Western Union money transfers, gift cards, or Bitcoin machines. If you came into a branch and stated that you were wiring money to CRA, the Libro staff would be asking more questions. The fraudsters say they will keep bothering you, which they might, but they will not come to your house. And if they do come to your house, be sure to call the police right away. It's okay to hang up on them. If you're concerned, call CRA directly using the number in the phone directory or on their website to confirm the status of your taxes. The next slide, or the next scam, is grandparents scams. This is also known as an emergency scam. Grandparent scams most commonly involve a phone call and can happen at odd hours, such as the middle of the night. It wakes you up, disoriented, and half asleep. The caller may pretend to be your grandchild or calling on their behalf. The goal is to have the victim send money quickly to solve the emergency, so to bail them out of jail, cover a medical cost, or obtain lost travel documents. Often the caller will tell them not to tell anyone. So a scenario might go like this. Your phone rings and it's the middle of the night. You answer, hello. They say, Grandpa, 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 is this you? You say, Johnny, is this you? So you've then just told the fraudster what your grandchild's name may be. They will tell you that they are traveling or they've been in an accident and they need help, but they don't want you to tell mom and dad, and that they need to send them money right away. So if this happens to you, ask yourself some questions. Does this sound like your grandchild? Is this how they speak? And why are they calling you, not a parent? First thing to do is hang up. Talk to your child or their parents and ask a lot of questions. Are they actually traveling? Call them from a phone number that you have already for them. So some helpful tips. So if you think it may be a scam, hang up the phone or close your door. Monitor account activity regularly. Set up alerts on your accounts and review your statements and checks. Be wary when there is requests for personal information. Never give out personal information or banking information over the phone. Be suspicious of unsolicited contact. So that's when you receive a communication through a phone call or email to purchase or to sell when you haven't initiated it, such as selling your timeshare. Protect your PIN at ATMs and point of sales and ask for space when needed. Ask a lot of questions and do your research. Lastly, contact your financial institution or the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre if you have any questions or concerns. So to contact us, if you want to reach out to discuss scams and fraud further or to learn more about what Libro has to offer, you can connect with us by any of these methods on the screen. You can also reach out to your own financial institution if you have specific questions about scams and fraud. Next is questions. So we'll be going through the questions that have been posted so far. And if you have any additional questions at this time, please add them into the chat now. Meredith, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. So we did have a couple come in, one of them being a question and then the other a comment. So the first comment was they weren't aware of the Spacebar Trick. So it's definitely one that our IS security team shared with us. It does not work on all secured sign-ins for different types of accounts, but I always suggest you give it a try. And using that within a phrase is great because a fraudster might not know a phrase. And it could be even a line from a childhood nursery rhyme that you knew when you were younger. The question that has come in is asking us to explain a little bit more about the two-factor authentication or two-step sign-in. The way that those work is different institutions or different platforms will use them in different ways. Libro's is triggered right now at account sign-in. So if you have the two-step verification set up, that when you log in, you will be sent a code. So you've entered in your online banking account, then you're entering in your password and you're asked to put in that special code. In the question, it asks what to do because they're randomly getting these texts for the authentication number for login when they are nowhere near their computer or signing into the account. So the first thing to remember is your two-step verification code is working. So if you're getting that code, it means the fraudster is not getting it, and it also means they cannot get into your online banking. The second thing I would always suggest is to give us a call. So if you are getting a code and you are not trying to log in, give us a call. You could call one of our locations or even our Libro Connect. We would do some investigating to find out what is generating that code. Could be a couple different things. It could be that there is a fraudster trying to get in and we can help you secure your online banking. The second cause could be a third-party software that's trying to access your information. So some people have set up for mint.com or Quicken Books. That could be triggering it, and we can definitely assist you with that. Another one that's come in is, what do you say to someone who thinks they don't have to worry about fraud? That's a tough one. Unfortunately, in today's world, we all have to protect ourselves and do our part in protecting against fraud. Some people are a little bit more aware than others, and unfortunately, the ones that are more aware, typically the ones who have become a victim of it or know somebody who has. Using examples of fraud, you might hear them in the news, or you might know somebody who personally has experienced it. It's always a good way to get someone to understand the importance of protecting themselves and to take action. Libro staff is always welcome to come in, talk to us. We are always willing to share our knowledge and experience and any examples we can. Everybody's activity is a little bit different, so some frauds apply more to others than it may to yourself, but we definitely all need to do our part, both as Libro, protecting our owners from being victims, but also every individual from ensuring that we recognize those red flags and asking for help when you're not sure. Okay, do we have any other questions coming in? We'll give everybody a moment. Okay, so what is the spacebar trick? So I'll just kind of go over that again. So a lot of passwords require a special character. So the go-tos are to use an exclamation mark or a question mark or even the asterisk. So there might be capital letters you need to use, lowercase, numbers. It can be very complicated sometimes. I don't know about you, but I've tried to set up passwords once and it takes me 6 or 7 times to find one that's accepted. The Spacebar Trick is that some platforms and financial institutions' online banking logins recognize a space as a special character. So rather than having to add the asterisk somewhere in your password, which is typically done at the end. So the most common way someone will put in a password would be to put their password is Jimmy John, and then at the end they add the special character. It's kind of the last thought. If you put a space anywhere in the middle of your password, it is harder for a fraudster to guess where that belongs. So it could be in a random spot within a word or used in a phrase. So if you had Mary Poppins uses an umbrella being your phrase, you're going to actually have a couple spaces in there, and those are your special characters. Another one is, I didn't realize Libro had two-factor authentication option. Is this new? We have had it for a little bit. We are working to make more and more of our owners aware. You can set this up through your Libro online banking. It is going to be in one of your options, similar to where you have the enhanced security. So previously, Libro only had those enhanced security questions, and we now have the two-factor authentication or two-step verification. It's referred in different ways. If you cannot find it in your online banking options, please reach out to us. The more people who get onto the two-step, the better, because it helps strengthen that security of your online banking. So you can contact any of our staff at a location or even our Libro Connect, and we'll be more than willing to walk you through how to set that up. Okay, we'll just give a few more minutes, see if there's any more questions coming in. Okay, I always use Tap. I wonder why others don't trust it. So when the Tap feature first came out, there was a lot of myths about it and a lot of people unsure how secure it was. Now, Molly went through and busted a lot of those myths. Some people were afraid of those electronic pickpocketing, or even afraid that if I lose my card, they're going to be able to tap away and take all my money. Financial institutions do put limits on it. So Libro has limits on how many times a tap transaction or a flash transaction can occur before it hits that limit, and you're required to put in a PIN. So they are not going to be able to do thousands upon thousands of dollars of transactions on your account. There is a limit. We do protect our owners from fraud. So from your side of things,